Okay, so previous class we learnt about supply chain management in detail. Now, very related topic to supply chain management is retail logistics. Now, logistics is a very crucial part of any business. Now, whatever supply chain management plans or whatever supply chain management does in theory, that to be implemented into practical is your retail logistics. Here they make sure that the goods are reaching to the place where whichever is necessary. Okay, so logistics, let us understand what is logistics. It's a total process of planning, implementing and coordinating the physical movement of merchandise. So if you order anything online or if you go and purchase the product, any sort of it, you will have to the physical movement of the goods from the manufacturing plant until it reaches the customer, the end user, that all the processes is included in the logistics. Here the work is completely done. Okay, it is not into theory or it is not put on papers or it is not in the form of software, but it is actually, the work is actually done here. And because of this only we are getting products today. Okay, it involves following activities. Okay, so they have certain activities listed. So this retail logistics involves all of them. First thing, procurement. Procurement is taking or buying the products. You are taking the products to your it belongs to you, the product belongs to you now, so you're procuring the product. When you purchase a product, okay, now that product after purchasing it belongs to you. So the procurement means the procurement may be of raw materials, the procurement may be of finished goods also. So step 1, raw material procurement, that is purchase of raw material. After getting the product produced, step 2, procurement of finished goods. Both will be considered. Then movement of products from the stock into the production department. Okay, let's understand this through a proper example. Now in a company you have a stock go down. Okay, this is the stock area. Now from there the production department is little far. Okay, so this is a little far, which means let's take it as 100 meters gap. So from stock to production department there is some amount of gap here. Then after production department, immediately you have your packaging department. Okay, you have your packaging department. Next to that you have the department where they send the products for distribution. So all these processes are done together. Now after procuring the raw materials, the movement of the raw materials from stock to the production, okay, that is movement. You're sending the goods from the stock or the from the stock place or the go down to the uh, actual production department. So that is movement. That is step 1. Another step 2, movement of goods. Once the products are produced, they are packed and they are got into a baggage, or they have put into proper bags so that it can be distributed, or they have put into carton boxes where it can be distributed. So from here, once the finished products leave the company, this also will be considered as movement. Okay, now once it leaves the company, the distributor will take these goods or the products and he will keep it in his go down. Okay, so there is movement of goods between the company and his warehouse. Warehouse or go down means same, where he's gonna store these goods. So there again you have movement. Again from his warehouse it will reach retailers. Again there is movement of goods. From retailers it will reach the end customers. Again there is movement of goods. So that is the work of movement. Next, storage of materials. Now, storage of materials is happened in the raw material or the stock department. Storage of materials happens here also. Okay, in the company, storage of materials happens in the warehouse of distributor. Storage of materials happens with retailers also, but in less quantity. All these places it is all high quantity, but here only it is less quantity. So this is storage of materials. Then parts and finished goods. So they are going to store the materials, they're going to store the other parts or products, and they're going to store the finished goods. So that is what is taken. If material storage is raw material, they're going to store the finished goods or the parts of it in the company, then it will be sent to the warehouse, then to the retailers, and then to the customers. So everywhere when there is actual movement of goods that you can see in front of you, that is known as logistics. Now this logistics has to be managed in a very, very efficient way, where you can reduce the time as well as cost of both of them. So that is understood as logistics. Any doubts in the meaning of logistics? Did you all understand? Everybody understood logistics? Okay, so let us continue. Now, what are the objectives of logistics? First thing, economy in movement of goods. So as per in our example, from raw materials, that go down of raw materials till the distributors go down and retailers shop. Until all of this, there will be economy in movement. So they will make sure that the goods are safe and there is no damage. So that is the logistics management. Now, if you order any product online, you can see the product being packed very well with the bubble covers inside, and you have a box being arranged, and upon the box you have an extra cover. Okay, now all this safety measures which is taken will protect the products inside the box or whatever you have ordered. So that protection will make the product not to get damaged, and it will make sure the customer is happy with whatever delivery of the product has been done. Now this economy is done both external and internal. Internal means between the stock department and production department and the other departments like distribution or packaging. That is internal. External means once it leaves the company and it reaches the customer. Okay, this in between whatever is there, this is called external. Next, accuracy of order management. Now if company A, okay, let's change the color here. Now if company A has given an order today, okay, so what is the date today? It is 8th May. So today they have given a order, 8th May, and company B has given an order yesterday, 7th May. Okay, now if you do not maintain the order date or order copy anything properly, then you do not know when you have to deliver the product. Now say suppose you were supposed to deliver the product for B today. Yesterday they ordered, and today you told you will deliver the product. Now if you have not maintained the order copy, okay, you have not managed any data of the order, then you would forget that you have to deliver the product today. So it will become a chaos, and the person who have ordered, okay, the customer or the supplier, whoever comes, they can come back and ask, where is my order? You were supposed to deliver the order today. So then it is the reputation of the company will go down. So that is why always it is compulsory to maintain the orders, the other details regarding the orders. Now that is totally called as order management. And logistic management will always help in maintaining this orders properly, because they will have lot of books where they have to do the entry, manual entries will be done, computerized entries will be done. There will be more copies of the data being maintained at different levels. So in such cases, it will be easy for them to manage the orders. Next, time management of shipments and deliveries. This you can see very much in the online shopping. So when you order for any products, they make sure that it reaches you on time. Okay, they will have lot of back end process done by the logistics people. So your product might be delivering from let's take for example Rajasthan. Okay, from Rajasthan the product has to reach Bangalore. So overnight the product will be coming from Rajasthan to Bangalore, and morning sometimes you can see this Amazon Prime, now Flipkart also is coming up with the Prime. I think it's already there. Okay, so Amazon Prime, if you have the membership, you can receive the product the next day, the immediate next day, or you can receive the delivery of the product within 12 hours, 8 hours. All this are given because they have the products ready and they can deliver the product on time. So using logistics management, they are well planned to deliver the products, any sort of products, on time to the customers. Next, shelf life and replenishment of perishable goods. Now this you can see in all of your frozen foods and other eatables. Now if you see dairy products, you will have certain shelf life. Or let's take an example of bread. Now the 1 pound of bread, okay, or one pack of bread, if you take that pack of bread will have a shelf life of let's say 15 days, 10 days, 10 days for example. Now 10 days is the shelf life, which means from the date of manufacturing, within 10 days they have to consume the bread. Okay, after that it will not be in a good form to eat. So that is why it is called perishable goods. Okay, it will you will not be able to store it for longer period of time and it will go waste. Then replenishment, a few of the products you can actually replenish. Now you'll always have to make sure the products if they are no non-perishable, which means where you can use and reuse them over and again, such goods can be maintained or kept in stock for a long time. But if it is something like eatables, and if it has very less shelf life, then in that case you'll have to make sure you have to be even more faster in delivering the product. Now you can see this milk packets. Now every milk packets will have the expiry date, so it will have next date, that is tomorrow's date, or maximum another day. But you cannot store the milk for more than 2-3 days. Okay, you will not be in a position to use the milk later. So that is why such products, the process has to be even faster. Then coordination with suppliers and third party services. Now why this will become important with third party service providers is, you alone in the company cannot do all the delivery. So Nandini company cannot hire 1000 employees to only do the delivery. So what they do is, they hire only few employees. Let's say instead of hiring 1000 employees only for delivery, I will employ 30 maximum 50 people. Okay, let's say I employ 50 people throughout Karnataka, not only Bangalore, throughout Karnataka, and I will make sure these milk packets are delivered to Nandini booths. Okay, you have lot of Nandini booths which have been established. So you make sure you deliver these products to nearby Nandini booths. So these Nandini booths are run by third party service providers. Okay, the anybody who wants to open up a store can open a milk store, there's no problem with that. Okay, so these third party service providers will help in giving out the products to the end customers in a fast manner, especially if it is perishable goods. If not, if it's a normal grocery store or a supermarket, then they will store the goods and send it or sell it to the customers. So suppliers is for raw material, and third party service providers to sell the goods. So both are very, very important. Then backup plans and return shipments. Now backup plans is sudden situation like COVID. Okay, this sudden outbreak of something else or sudden situation that is happening in the society. So on that day, if you're not able to get the products, if you are not able to get the products, you have to arrange somebody to get the products to the customers, because there will be so many people waiting for milk in the morning near the milk booth. Not only milk, any product for that matter, milk, other dairy products also. So always company must have a backup plan. I took milk as example because it's easy to understand. There are many other products which are long lasting also. So suddenly if the production stops or if there is any problem, how can I manufacture the product? What is the solution for it? How can I back up the plans? So that is also important. Then return shipments, all those return orders which you place online, they take the order, they make sure they refund the amount for you if you do not want any other order, or if you want to replace, they again deliver the product to you. So that is return shipments. And for this return shipments, they have to maintain the records also. So these are the objectives of logistic management. So all these things we see that in day to day life, but these have particular names which you'll be understanding now. Any doubts in this slide? Okay. So next, logistic management is understood in the diagram. So looks very similar like supply chain, but a little different. Okay. So here, if you see, you have logistics management, you have supply chain community added up with reverse logistics. So you will have raw material supplier who will give the materials to manufacturer. Manufacturer will produce the goods and send that to wholesaler through a distributor. Now this distributor can be from the company or can be a third party or a different person. Then this products will be sent to the wholesaler, and wholesaler will give it to retailer where customers will buy. Now this procedure is very similar to supply chain, but all the actual movement of goods which is done here in between, now getting the goods, putting the goods into the truck and riding till manufacturer, and from there again to the distributor, all this is done by logistics people. And to maintain how much goods have come and how much goods have gone out, you have to maintain that logistics or the count of the product. So that is called as logistics management. Now let us understand few differences between supply chain management and logistic management. Okay, so you have this, they can ask this for 6 marks. Okay, supply chain management and logistic management. So the first point is, a supply chain is a group of independent partners who collectively convert a basic commodity into finished products that is valued by end customer. So here it is a group of independent partners, which means you have all of them separately here. You have a raw material person separate, and the manufacturer, distributor, everybody is different, where they come together, they make an agreement, they come together and they serve the customers or the end users. But when it comes to logistic management, it's a process of physical movement. Here they can just talk about it through software, or they can talk about it in a very, very big picture. Now this supply chain management can be for the whole company. When it comes to logistics, I can only talk for, or we can only discuss logistics for one particular plant. Now for you to understand better, let us take an example of the same TVS company that we visited. I hope everybody remembers it. So let's say TVS plant which we visited was in Hosur. Okay. Now, if I'm talking about supply chain management, I am talking about the whole of TVS company. The whole of the company is being added up here. So what are the um, agreements between the suppliers, agreements between the distributors, wholesalers with TVS on a whole, full global brand. Now, if I'm talking about logistics, I'm only talking about, let's say, only Hosur plant. So how is logistics happening there in the Hosur plant? Now, from Hosur plant to where all are they distributing the finished products? Let's say from Hosur plant, it is coming to Bangalore also. So logistics in between only these two places I'm talking about. Okay, I hope you are able to understand the difference, the basic difference here between supply chain and logistics. So logistics only is concerned about physical movement of goods. Okay, they're not too much concerned about any other things. So they want to make sure that the goods reach to the person or the consumer on time. Next, it's a wider concept. So as I told, the whole company is being included here, and the agreements or the contracts that is being done are included. Logistics, it's a part of supply chain management. So in supply chain, logistics is one of the step. So you make sure that the products reach them. Then coming back to supply chain, it deals with integration of all partners in the value chain. So integration means working together. So the TVS company has to make sure that they have this particular transport company or logistic company which will deal with us. Now another best example which we can take is, if you remember R Logic, do you guys remember R Logic, which is just in front of the college? Now, R Logic company is a logistic company. Okay. Now, what they do is their main work is only to tie up with the companies. Now, such companies, such logistic companies, they tie up with other companies, and their only work is to transport the products from one place to another. Okay. So, in supply chain management, TVS, let's say TVS is making this is just an example. TVS is making a contract with R Logic. Okay. Now TVS is making a contract with R Logic. So what does R Logic does? R Logic will only go to TVS manufacturing plant, that is Hosur plant. They will take the required materials and deliver it to the required place. Okay. So here, integration of all partners. When it comes to logistic management, it is only optimizing the flows within the organization. So from one place to another, nearby areas, and when the product is required from production department to the packaging department, or from stock to the production department, that is considered. Then supply chain management, it builds upon framework and seeks to achieve linkage and coordination between processes of other entities in the pipeline. So supply chain management, on a wider note, includes many other process apart from logistics. So they will make sure the product is bought, manufactured, carefully customized, packed, and then it reaches to the hand of customer. And whatever cost is involved to do that, they will try to reduce it by working effectively and efficiently. Not only cost but also time. Now they cannot take to manufacture one set of product for more than 1 week. It depends on the product though. For more than a week or 2 weeks, so they have to do the product as quickly as possible to deliver the products. But on the contrary, when you take up logistics, it will create only one plan, and they will follow that one plan wherein they are delivering the goods physically from one place to another. And the last point, again, it's almost repetition. It involves many independent channel partners. So TVS can have a tie-up with R Logic. Let's say, let's take an example like this. Let's say there is A Logic company, B Logic company, R Logic company. Now TVS can have contracts with 3 of them also. Okay. So that is why it is called independent channel partners. But logistic management, they will take activity of only one firm at a time, and they will do the movement of the goods. Okay, so that is the difference between supply chain management and logistic management. Any doubts in this slide? Did you all understand? Okay, now let us see what are the types of logistics. Now, here in the types of logistics, there are three types. Okay, so fourth point, once again, yeah, fine. Okay, this point is it. Okay, it builds upon the framework and seeks to achieve linkage and coordination between processes. So what we are trying to say here is supply chain management. When I'm talking about TVS, okay, when I'm talking about TVS, and I have A Logic, B Logic, and R Logic. These are the three companies we are working with. So under supply chain management, I will make contracts with all these logistics companies, and I will make sure the product reaches to the distributors or wholesalers, or if not TVS, let's take for example Maruti. Okay, automobiles are the best examples here. Okay, Maruti. Now Maruti cars, okay, Maruti cars are manufactured in some other state, but how are we able to get Maruti cars even in Bangalore or Karnataka? It is through this supply chain and logistic management. Now Maruti company will have a supply chain management policy. Okay, they will make one complete system for whole of India. In that complete system, they will have lot of logistic companies as part of supply chain. Now Maruti, let's take for example, is delivering to Tamil Nadu. Okay, is also giving to Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra. Okay, I've just taken so many states. For example, only South India I have considered. Now here, once they are delivering to these many states here, now Maruti will have a supply chain management policy. Now in that policy, logistic management is one of the point where they will have one people or one company for each of the state who will look after the logistics. Okay, I hope you understand now. So it builds a framework. On a whole, it builds a framework, but logistics management is one which will manage things or manage the transportation in between the states. Okay, I hope that clears the fourth point. Any other doubt? Okay, so let us continue. Now, the types of logistics are inbound logistics, in-plant logistics, and outbound logistics. Now, inbound logistics, it is concerned with bringing goods or resources into organization from the suppliers. Basically, it is only getting raw materials into the company. Now, what they will do? Again, we will take the example of same Maruti. Now, Maruti, when they have to manufacture cars, when they're manufacturing cars, they will have lot of raw materials. Let's say they want to manufacture, or they are manufacturing the body of the car. Now for body of the car, what all raw materials they require? Okay, that which when it is bought, when these raw materials are bought into the Maruti plant, that is called inbound logistics. Then in plant logistics, there is movement of goods within the organization. Within the organization means, if you remember, there was this robot, you can call it as a sort of machine only, which was just pulling some stock inside TVS. If you remember when we went out for the plant, so there is one automated robo mission. What it does is it has certain defined lines. Okay, it only has track of those lines, and it goes around inside the company. So that will make it easier for people to transfer or take the goods from one department to other department. Or we also saw few people riding a sort of logistic mission. Now what that does is it will only transfer the products within the organization. Now if I finished manufacturing engine, now I have to put and I have also painted the outside part of the engine. Now I'll have to take it to the drying area. So there is an implant logistic or implant movement of the products, where we will take from one part of the company to the other part of the company. Okay, so that is called implant logistic. Inside the company only we will do the movement of the goods. Then outbound logistics. Outbound means it is concerned with transportation of goods from the organization to customer's place, which means this we are sending from company to customer. Customer means it will go through your normal channels of distribution. From company it will go to distributor. From distributor it will go to your next person is the wholesaler. From wholesaler it will go to customer. So it will follow this route. This is outbound logistics. So to revise, inbound logistics is within that is getting raw materials to the company. Okay, from suppliers to the company will be your inbound. In plant is inside the company. If you want to move the goods from one place to another or one branch to another branch. Now when we went there we saw only one building. Okay, there were many other buildings inside the actual premises. So from one premises to other premises, if they have to take, then it is called in plant. Then the last one, outbound. The after that the finished goods, when it is sold to the customers, that is called outbound logistics. Okay, any doubt in this slide? Did you all understand the types? Okay, so that completes our previous P. Now we have the last P of the marketing, that is promotion. Okay, we finished the price and product, everything. Now we have promotion. One of the very important part of the chapter, because maximum of the questions are asked from promotion. You can go back and check your question papers. Out of the 4 P's, promotion has the most questions being asked. Okay, so let's just see the introduction part today quickly. So the marketing mix includes 4 P's: price, product, promotion, and place. So we saw price, we saw how the pricing would be done. Then we saw product, what all products will be sold. We saw place. All that just we saw was about regarding the place, how, where to store, how to make the movement. All that has been completed. Now to the last P of marketing mix, that is promotion. How do you promote the product or market the product? How do you make sure customers buy your product? So the very difficult task for any company is to sell their products. Okay, and customer should have interest to come and buy the product. Now that creation of interest is a very difficult task. Now so let's understand what is promotion first. So promotion refers to raising customer awareness of the product or brand, generating sales, and creating brand loyalty. Promotion is one of the primary elements used in marketing mix. Now any product for that matter, the customers must be aware that the product is there in the market. Now before you used to get whiteners as a liquid. Now we are getting whitener pens. Okay, before you used to get whitener liquid, where you will get an extra liquid with that, a transparent liquid, where you can mix that with the whitener liquid and use it. It's something like your nail remover kind of thing, nail paint remover. Okay, if your nail polish is dry, you can add the nail paint remover and reuse the nail polish, right? Something like that. Your whiteners would get a transparent liquid along with that. But later the transparent liquid was banned due to certain health issue and reasons. So now you have whitener pens. Now if you, even if you take only whitener pens, okay, you have so much of variety. Now what we use generally is that pen tip, that is fine. Apart from the round tip, you also have flat tip whitener pens. So the lot of awareness about many products are required for the customers. Now once you know that the product is there, or once you know this brand has come out with a new product, you would like to try out the product. Now let's take another easy example. Soap. Now if you are using let's say Dettol soap. Now if you're using Dettol soap, if there is a new variant in Dettol soap, okay, you would like to try the new variant. Or if you're using Dove soap, a new variant in that, you would like to try it out. So that is promotion. They are promoting, first of all, by creating awareness of the product. Then they will make customers buy the product. Once they buy the product and they like it, they will make them as the regular customer. So that includes your procedure for promotion, and it is one of the most important way, or most important P in the marketing mix. If no one is aware about the product, there is no point in selling the product. The same thing happens for companies, colleges, hospitals, TV channels, everywhere. So everybody works for promotions only. Promotions is getting famous, or they want to make, a word of mouth is very, very effective always. So if someone goes and say, okay, this particular channel gives good news, or authentic news, okay, all that will be added up as a TRP, or most watched television series, or most watched channel. All that are done using promotion only. So that is your introduction to promotion. Okay, I hope everybody understood until here. Any doubts? Any doubts until whatever have been completed?